Hey guys, how you doing and welcome to the video. Obviously you know what it is because you just read it and that's why you clicked on the video, because this is what it is. Yeah, so this is going to be a little guide on how to get started and just a few things you may want to know to help you complete the game. So Dungeon Endless Guide. We'll probably just show you the first floor. So as you see, title screen comes in and you have to select some heroes. When you first start off, you'll notice that you only have 4 and all these are basically unhighlightable. You won't even see them. When they have a lock screen, that means you've seen them in the floor or hired them, but they haven't survived for 3 floors. If they survive for 3 floors, you will completely unlock them. So this is the unlock screen. You start off with the escape pod, and there'll be various ships for you to choose, but obviously you won't have them because you have to do achievements to unlock them. So this one I have to research all modules, but we'll get into that later, and the drill pod. But now we're just going to stick with the normal escape pod because this is what you're going to be using. We'll even start off with showing you what 2 people you should use at the start. So Max Arcane is really good because he gives you this thing called Endless Expert, and if you want some DPS, you'll be using Gork. He is really slow though, so just be aware that Max will be carrying the crystal for you. So you go ahead and hit start and you'll see this cut screen. It's all pretty. Your ship has crash landed. Oh my god. We have got to do something about that. So you load into the game and you notice you're in this broken ship and you have this weird crystal thing. If you're doing the tutorial, it'll basically say this is what powers the rooms and you'll need to basically escape the floors. So when you go through, obviously there'll be some mobs in here. The dungeon is always randomly generated. The first thing you want to do is place an industry generator 1 down in your first room. This is because it's going to gain the most resources, and it helps place the second generator down because you're going to be gaining more per turn. So if I placed food, I'd still only gaining 5 per turn. Now you want to make sure that you light up every room you can. This is an artifact. This lets me research. So this means instead of food, because I found this early, I'm going to place down a science module second. As I said, they are randomly generated, so you're going to be doing different stuff depending on what happens in your floor. If I found food or... generally most of the time I will just build food after the industry to help level up my characters, because I'm not going to be getting a research on the first floor unless you're really lucky and find an artifact like we did, or if you have... Max Arcane's pretty good because of his Endless Expert. As I say, look, you get +2 science by turn, so we're getting 7 per door now, which means we can get the science on floor 1, which is also really important. So we're going to level up Gork, and he gets this ability called Psycho Killer. Duration of 7 seconds with a cooldown of 2 turns. Each turn is obviously when you open a door. So we'll move to the next room and we get 9 dust. So talking about this, how to power rooms. At the minute I have the capacity to power 5 rooms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything is lit up. This means no mobs are going to spawn in any of the rooms apart from the ones I newly search. So as you can see, I don't have the power to power this room up with my dust. So instead of moving with both characters, I'm going to have to move with one, leaving a player inside this dark room to make sure mobs don't spawn. This way we reduce the amount of things that could kill us. So this is a self-powered room. We gain 10 dust. This means we can light this and can continue with traveling together. But as you remember, we have 46 science now. Well, we have 47. Costs 46 to research science 2. It's pretty much always better to research industry or food. But we gained the science early and we have science, so we could do a lot of research this run, which is going to be good. So we could gain a lot of turret knowledge and make it really easy, so we don't have to particularly stand in every single room and take it really slowly. So yeah, Gork has the most attack power, so we'll go through with him. And we got the exit. Okay, so what we're going to do here, because the exit is here and all the mobs are going to filter through this room, I will place some turrets down. Because they're guaranteed to get some action, should we say. And I would have placed food down, but I think we're just going to go with 2 modules this floor. So as you'll notice, if mobs spawn in here, there is a chance they will spawn in here. We are luckily enough that mobs only spawned in the front room and there's only 2, so all good. What I'll do is level him up. You just right click on and you'll bring up the champion screen, character, hero, whatever you want to call them. They are called heroes, but you don't have to specifically call them that. So you'll notice that we are both level 2 now. He gets another ability, so if we click on him, verbal abuse gives everyone in the room attack, power and defense. So this is why we fall back to a single room where we can pile up our champions and defend them with turrets. This makes it just that much easier to defend together. This is going to... Gork's really slow, but we need to make sure we run back into this room. Okay, get everyone back. See, mobs have spawned in there, but not in here. That's because Max was protecting the room. So we give both of our characters attack, power, and defense with the verbal abuse. Nice. Crystals ignore champions and go straight for the crystal. There's loads of different types of mobs, but you mainly want to just literally have the monsters filter through your turret room and do all that good stuff. So our science research has completed, so we're going to go and check out what we can learn. Although, well, food too, that would have been great. I guess we'll get tear gas. Tear gas is good because it divides the monsters in that room, their defense by 2. And as you increase its research, drops their defense more. So everything will be doing double damage if we replaced one of these turrets with tear gas. And the reason I still learn the research there, even though we have 1 door, there's an actual little trick. It says 3 turns to research anything, but all research on the floor will be completed once you activate the last door or end the floor, basically. So we can kind of fudge it, shall we say, so that we can research more things in the turn than we should be able to. It just completes all research before you go to the next floor, so you're not wasting out or missing anything. As you see, last door has been opened and we unlocked. So, boom, we can move these over. So, the person that's going to be carrying the crystal needs to go down to the crystal, obviously, because they have to go pick it up. And your slowest people need to be already waiting. This is going to be pretty easy. Mobs can only spawn in this back room, so while I'm running through, and any mobs that do get here, I'm going to go into this turret room here and start being whittled down. So, to pick up the crystal, you click there, right click on it, and then the opposite click to pick it up. And the character you've selected will pick up the crystal, and you tell him where to go with it. I put Gork in here just so that we don't have any mobs spawning in the end, but so far they're just crystals anyway. They're only gonna focus me. Any mobs that want to kill Gork, that's fine too, because he's closer, so they'll go to him. Another thing, we should be fine, all good, everything's fine, all good. Only having 1 wave spawn each time makes it fairly simple. So you get into the room and it says heroes ready, 2 out of 2. Make sure that every single one of your heroes is in the room before you travel. That is another thing, else they will get left behind. So here's the floor cleared screen, 7 minutes 30, obviously your total time as well. Any modules you've built will not be carried over to the next floor, but your resources will. So we killed 38 monsters and we did 12 doors. We got a score of 565. So we can just talk a bit over the floor. That was pretty good. We got science 2, which means if we place that down as our second module, we're going to get a lot of science, which means we can pick up the food 2 that's on the artifact for the next floor, because obviously we got to look at the research before we went to the next floor, and that the research carries over until you reset it or learn something new. When you learn one thing out of the 4, all of them change. But obviously you have a chance to re-roll the same stuff, apart from what you've already researched. So yeah, the next floor we'd simply just start it off as per usual again, place down industry, next room place down science, hopefully try and find an artifact, learn food 2 and place 2 food modules down. The floors get slightly bigger each time you go up, and they get a little bit more difficult. You can see we have plenty of industry, so we could even go food first because we have so much industry. But I will place industry first, pretty much 10 times out of 11. Sometimes I even place 2 industry, just because of how big the floors are, and it can be quite difficult if you don't have enough industry to place turrets down. Science isn't going to affect me until we find an artifact. And with the Endless Expert, we are already gaining 2 plus turn, but we did research it, so we will go ahead and place down the science 2, so we gain 8 per turn, which is huge. Okay, so we finally come across something else we can talk about. This is a random event. It's a Stellar. So when we right click on this, it gives us like special abilities for the amount of turns that it's alive for. So it says minor modules in floor, attack power plus 80%. Minor modules are the turrets we place or any stuff in these smaller slots, not the big ones. They're major modules. And it says heroes in floor, attack power minus 50%. So basically this type, you just have to place down some towers and use them to defend you. Because we are going to be doing no damage. Our DPS is going to be cut in half, but these are going to have like almost 2 times damage, so we do need them up, because the turrets will completely destroy the mobs, as you see, but we will do no damage at all. And we found another major module, so in one more room we can place down our food replicator. So we'll go back through here. Maybe if we didn't place one more turret down we would have saved some, but there's our food replicator, self-powered room. It's actually really good. I'm going to continue going down. But yeah, as I said, you want to make sure that you have as many rooms lit up or champions stood in them as possible. Reduces how much is going to spawn, and you usually send your strongest guy forward. Hey, and now another thing to talk about. During the floors, you start off with 2 if you're just going with the basic escape pod, but you can get other random events where there'll be other people you can recruit. So Dina is the nurse, and she's also pretty fast. She's going to be on new, she's not as fast as Kane, but yeah, she's pretty fast. So if we didn't take Kane, we would have taken Dina because she's medic, and you know, works quite nicely with Gork. So her skill is paramedic. Heroes in the room will get health regen, and heroes in the floor gain regen. So she can medic you no matter where you are, but obviously more if you're in the same room as her. So this is why we want to group people up. I'm going to use Dina to run because Gork is so slow. And another random event you can get is a merchant. I think we already had one of these on the first floor, but I didn't really talk about it. These let you buy and sell items with a different resource every time. If it was science, it would be pretty good. It's food, so obviously we can sell items to him, but it's going to be half the price that we buy them from him. This is also a good way to transfer items if you're in multiplayer, because there is no way to like give another player items. Only the characters you can control share items. So if you found a merchant and you pick up something that's really good and they have enough resources to buy it from a merchant, that's a good way to trade items in multiplayer as well. So there's nothing really too great at the minute. I mean, a Fuzi would be pretty good, but we don't have enough resources for it. So we're just going to go ahead and run through. So Gork is going to have a bad day. We found the exit already. Mobs could spawn in here. I'm just going to wait. No mobs did spawn though. I'm going to run my way back into this room. We have a food one, industry and science. I could place another module. It's pretty early in the dungeon, so I may place another food so we can start leveling up our characters. And we're going to go into the next room. It's another dead end. Okay, we got some light. So, did mobs spawn here? Another random event. We found a chest, which gives us one random item. So, quick draw. It's in a 14 attack power, minus 0.3 attack cooldown pistol, which we can equip on either Hero Kane or Nurse Dina. I would say it's probably better off to give it to the person that has the most DPS anyway. Kane is more of a support operator. He tends to stay out of combat most of the time. So I'm going to move him there. Actually, no, Gork can stand here. We're going to have Dina up here. So this is kind of the micromanagement portion of the floor. So obviously we're going to reduce spawns by 2 so they can spawn here and the next room I explore. So this is also dropped down as well, which means we could even place another major module down. Self-powered room. So any mob spawned. By the way, how I'm getting onto this screen here, you can either press T or use your mouse wheel and scroll out. It's just the tactical map, so you can still move characters just by clicking on the floors as you would like if you were just clicking them. So, next thing to note is when you're leveling up, always upgrade the person that's going to gain the most out of your resources, because although this game is in easy, it is the hardest difficulty that you can possibly select, and you really have to be careful with your resources. So Gork, and you see from leveling up Kane, he gains 55 HP, 3 defense, 3 DPS. DPS and attack power are kind of the same. I just go on the DPS. So she gains 7 HP, 2 defense, and 4 DPS. And then Gork gains a passive skill. See the question mark? When you level up, he will gain a passive skill. The passive skills are the same every time from leveling up the character, but they can gain passive skills from items. He gains 81 HP, 3 defense, 2 DPS. So he gains the least DPS, but he gains the most health, most defense, and a passive skill. So I will level him up, and it only costs 37. And he gets Silent Green, which he gives food for every monster he kills. So we're going to be farming some extra food with him. So this is why we level up Gork first. So Dina's going to continue with the floor. As you can see, we have 106 science. I'm going to place down that there, and we're going to run everyone back into a room that we can kind of get together, and we may even be better off just going to the turret room. Gork's really slow though, but I'm sure he can manage and get to the room. Okay, they're going to... I don't want them killing that. I completely forgot that the wasps will kill modules if they're not protected. Okay. So if I place that there, I'm gonna have Max here. Gork can be this side. He's so slow. I may have to place some turrets in this room, so that Max has a fallback, so he can fall into this room and just defend it from there. There is 4 doors left. So we will be doing some research. We could do Science 3. Science 3. We'd have so much research going. Like, at the minute it's a cross between Prisoner Prod 2 or Science 3, but I will go Science 3 because we have 106. We want to do the stuff that costs the most first. So we're going to go down and we get a room with mobs in it. We will want... Okay, she is taking a beating. Okay, Kane needs to move back into here. Okay. You gonna be okay? Yeah, if you click this, you will heal as well. So that's what food is used for healing and other stuff like that. Okay, I think I may put Gork down here just because there's 2 rooms spawning. We need our best one down there to defend against 2 waves. Max can stand here and Dina can go through. Could place 2 turrets in here to help these guys out as well. He needs to fall back quickly. You need help? No, he doesn't need another one. It's starting to get pretty difficult. May need to fall back further with Gork into a room with more turrets. Or we're going to have to light up another room for him, like this one up, and stand in there. So he has enough time to fall back. But then if the wasps were there, they're going to destroy this food. So we do have a lot of shit to cover. Gonna get extremely awkward for Gork down there. Okay, so that's a dead end. Any mobs? Yes, there is mobs. So we need Dina to move as well. We need him to run, else he's gonna die. And we need you to run as well, so you will die. You need to medic your team. There's a lot of micromanagement. It's a lot easier if you're on the tactical map to... Okay, you can go up there. Okay. As I said, getting pretty difficult now. So the research has been completed. We have learned Science 3, so we can unlock something else. Gork is having such a bad day. I think we're going to have to place some more turrets down for him. Because we're running out of food to heal him with. So he's just going to have to run straight back here. And we're going to have to place some more turrets this way. Because these guys are just not strong enough. This is why it's pretty much always better to just put it on too easy and unlock some characters first, rather than jumping straight into easy. I would recommend. So, we just press spacebar to pause the game. At the minute, I'm just gonna micromanage and put these 2 in here. Gork is fine. I think they're fine. Yep, all good. Okay, so now we come to the little bit that is the final door, maybe, and the end. So, Industry 3, I'm just going to take that straight away. That is just too much of an opportunity to pass up there. Okay, so what we're thinking is here. We need to have this lit up. I may take that one out, place that one there. Because we're going to need both of these here. Gork's going to have to stand on this side and then run up here. Okay, because we're going to need both of these to go into this room to be able to... Just in case any mobs spawn. It is the last, so... Okay. Let's just pause. The last room, so mobs should only spawn in the room they spawned in. But we need to make sure... How much light can we afford to die here? 2. At best. Okay, so everyone needs to fall back into this room. Okay, all good. So we can have everyone moving apart from the fastest character. So this is another thing we need to be like just showing off here, is how to make it as safe as possible to carry the crystal without any of your characters dying. So what we do is we redirect all the power to power as many rooms as we can in the path, apart from the last room, because obviously your character is going to be standing there in there anyway. Could also do this to save a little bit extra, make it as safe as possible. So they're only going to be spawning on this side of the map, and he's going to get pretty far before the monsters even get anywhere close to him. So as you see, the monsters are all spawning here. They have to go through this turret room as well, so they're going to be pretty unhealthy, they have to go through these turrets and these turrets and these turrets. So most of the mobs will not even make it. But as I said, you do have to make sure every single hero is in that last room. So if I move Dina into here now, I can't change the power once I've took the crystal as well. Yeah, I have to make sure Dina runs out while Max is in here. Then as soon as he gets into the room, they can spawn in here now, but obviously it's going to take a while for the next set of waves, and we're all ready, so we just click exit and wait to the next floor. So, thank you for watching, guys. That took us 14 minutes 28. There's a lot to talk about. So, to 2 floors, we did 22 minutes, something like that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, hopefully leave it a like, maybe subscribe and do all that sort of thing. And if you really do like this, then come check out the stream, twitch.tv/Solhex's World. I'll leave a link in the description. Come check me out, 9 AM to 4 PM every single day. We'll be running games like Dungeon of the Endless, Hearthstone, maybe even a bit of League of Legends with the viewers and stuff like that. So, thanks again. Solhex.